One of the biggest challenges with our instant on, always available lifestyle that we have now is the idea that people want to know everything and or should know everything. Many times when I'm working with a client, they're going to want to be very clear and concise and crisp and honest. And I encourage that. And I would never say for people not to be clear and concise and honest, but as with everything, you don't need to share everything. In fact, the public persona and a private persona are completely appropriate. You have thoughts that you will say out loud and thoughts that you would never say out loud. You have things that you would tell your family and intimate members of your close friends that you would not say to your regular friends or to the public. And therefore, with this new instant on, always public systems that we have at social media and our ability to get this information out, that line is being lost. And it's being lost to the detriment of the individual, not only to their safety and security, but their evaluations as well. So in many ways, we have this thought that we need to share everything with everyone. And in all reality, we don't. We don't have to, and we really shouldn't. Many times what you'll see is someone who is on social media on a regular basis, gets good at talking about their ideas, gets good at posting, and then has the great idea that they want to share something that is completely out of left field. I had one individual who was in the health and nutrition market who decided to share all about his custody schedule and how he's frustrated with that and how he doesn't think that that was fair. Now, that's completely acceptable to people who are within the organization and completely acceptable to the people who are in your small family group, but probably not something you wanted to share on the major social media networks. And in fact, it got into a long and stilted debate over custody and parental guidance, which had nothing to do with his brand and nothing to do with his company. And in many ways, we'll see this when people feel passionate about specific political views, feel passionate about certain social views and things like that. And also, they don't understand that people are very good at watching these things and understanding what's going on. One of the times we were actually videotaping in a standard kitchen. And in LA, you can go and actually rent a kitchen where you can do photography. Also, New York's a great place to do that too. They've got lots of kitchens because of the Food Network. And we were in the back and videotaping some content. When we shot the content, we put it up. And do you know what the biggest question was on the comments that came through? Why does this individual use this type of stove instead of that type of stove? Now, it was just in the background. We weren't actually using the stove, but people sat there and watched the video so carefully to know the brand of the stove. Now, that's kind of funny and a good theme and a whole nother section that I talk about is why I have a blank background, to get you to pay attention to me. But also what that means is that we need to continue to have that persona, but we need to have a persona that is aware that everyone is watching everything. I had another client who was doing some material outside, and I insisted that we not shoot it in the apartment sections that they actually lived in. We went across town, across LA, to another area to shoot because we knew that people would come there. That persona in security is that important, but also having that persona everywhere else. Now, in all reality, you've got to let your hair down occasionally. And it's fine in a private setting. It doesn't need to be done in public. Many people think that their private information and their public information should be interconnected. And it does not serve anyone to do that. Should you be clear? Should you be honest? Should you be transparent in the things that you're doing and the struggles that you have? Absolutely. As long as it's brand aware and appropriate. People like to know who we are and what we do. And on this channel, I tell you some of my life and I reveal some of the things that happen. And I talk about some of the foibles that I've done and the mistakes I've made, because that's good, because that's real and that's human. But I don't reveal everything, and nor should you. So creating a public and private persona doesn't mean that you're completely different people. But there's certain things that you do and talk about and steer the conversation for in public. Do you need to be coherent? Do you need to be of one voice where basically you're the same person in both of those? Absolutely. I would never encourage you to be separate people. But in many ways, occasionally if you're doing a gluten-free diet and you happen to be sitting at a, restaurant in San Francisco that serves the best sourdough bread you've ever tasted, maybe if you're not celiac, maybe you may have a piece here and there. Would you advertise that on video? No. As a personal choice? Yes. It was delicious, by the way. So in many ways, we have this need to provide more and more information. And I like providing this to you because it gets you to know me better. I'm not just a talking head. I'm a human that has struggles and challenges and aspirations and hopes, but I'm not going to share everything, and nor should you. You should always make sure that you're safe and secure, that you're on point in talking about exactly what's happening. If you look at anyone who has done good quality training, they're always bringing it back to the point and understanding it. One of the biggest lies in modern business leadership isn't that leaders are perfect. It's that they are always being their authentic selves. Even Steve Jobs rehearsed his famous casual keynotes for hours. While everyone preaches radical transparency, successful industry leaders understand that effective leadership is more like method acting than reality TV. How many opportunities are you missing because you haven't developed the executive presence? Every public appearance without a strategic persona is a missed opportunity to shape your market perception. Your reluctance to craft public image isn't just affecting you. It's impacting your team's morale, your company's evaluation, and your ability to close major deals. So even if you have thought that you've overshared in the past, you can take those videos down, or in reality, just let them fade into the great social media abyss. Instead, start right now. Change what you need to change and start becoming a lot more focused on what you're doing. Start continuing to talk about exactly what you are. Be more creative in that. Be more personal in that. Bring in more stories, as you've seen me do, bringing in stories from my life, from the things I do to the people I see to the people I meet. Bring those in to create an understanding of who you are. But do not necessarily bring your entire life into this. Be focused and specific. People will appreciate that. They will see that as something that's important and then give you the advantage of saying, yes, I appreciate what you're doing. Let me follow you. I want to know, like, and trust you. And I'm not going to know, like, and trust you if you continue to go off in different directions and have different conversations and do different things. So what I'd love you to do is I'd love you to take a look at your persona. And I'd love you to take a look at your persona in the various areas, in your business area, in your social area, in your personal area, and in your friends area, and see where you can adjust them slightly. Not to be radically transparent. And one of my dear friends used to say, of one voice. Be able to speak of one voice, but you don't have to speak all the words. Speak the one voice for your business and exactly what needs to be talked about. Speak the one voice to your family, when exactly it would be more informational and more personal. Speak the one voice to your friends, and speak the one voice to anyone else that you need to do. But you do not necessarily have to share everything with everyone. Create that persona and recognize that it's easier and easier to track and stalk people and create that persona to protect you and your loved ones and the company that you're with. So take a look at those and come up with 3 or 4 notes on what you could do. You can't change it overnight, but you can do 1 or 2 things to change immediately. If you'd like, share those with us and what you'd like to change. Maybe you'll get some ideas. Share it in the comments below, and we look forward to talking to you and continuing this conversation. I look forward to talking to you later.
Thanks for tuning into today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Venture Gained.